Okay, we're planting the final potatoes. These are russets. This is our russet patch. These are about 40-foot rows. Got that and that. Nova, what do you have? Ignore the dog rolling on a dead bird in the background. Anyway, so, what was I even saying? The other potatoes, the Yukon Gold and the Red Pontiac and the white, are 90 days to harvest. These guys are 120 days around. Anyway, you get a longer sprout waiting, is what I was trying to say before I was interrupted by a dog again. Now, these can be a little bit leggy, a little bit non-productive. Not entirely non-productive, but less productive. So I've had them all the way from leggy to where they're also forming potatoes on the little sprout. But those ones seemingly do not do as well. But that's also weather dependent, so it's hard to tell. I didn't do a study in a vacuum. Your best seed potato has multiple starts. So anyway, we're planting, as with the other potatoes, we're planting 4 inches deep, 9-10 inches apart, unless there's a tiny one, and then we put 2 in the same hole. And then you want the soil really to be loose, like 10 inches down. That's not been happening. Just the till we're getting isn't quite that deep, but you know, you can't help that. So anyway, this will be the final potato planting, and we'll be all done. We've got 3 rows already planted. We're just now gonna do 4, and if I can stand it, we're gonna do 4 more here, 4 more short rows there, keeping an aisle between. Now this garden doesn't actually do quite as well because sometimes will get too saturated. Got a rain gutter over here. And also we haven't been using it as long because this is actually a lawn. This was lawn for a long time, and we had the other garden developed before this. So we'll see how it does this year. Last year it kind of flopped. We got seed, and that's pretty much it. We had a watering issue last year. And of course the season was not great. So that's what we're doing with that. And then we've got our garden map drawn up, and the final map of the year. Just to let, and I keep all the garden maps from previous years just so I know what we did and I can refer back to it. Oops, blind everyone. But this is how this goes. That's the garden map. These are the russets. And there's my strawberries. Squash is going to go off of the corner of my old bear blind there. And then over there, that's the other part of the garden with the Yukon Golds that we've already done. And right here is the Mammoth Mangles and the Detroit Dark Reds on the other side of my bear blind. So that's what we're looking like for this year. And we had to consult the map from last year because you want to be careful when you're planting something like white potatoes and russet potatoes, or white potatoes and yellow potatoes, because they can look similar. And when you go to harvest seed, you want to know what you had. So I don't plant yellows over here. I don't plant whites. I only plant russets. I've rotated the crop with crops that are not root crops, but I don't rotate different kinds of potatoes, so that because they do come back. We call them the Lord's potatoes if they come back on their own, and they do come back, and they produce actually far better without our intervention. Thank you. These are the Lord's potatoes over here. They're relegated to a corner. The plowing missed. But yeah, so you don't want to make it so that your seed saving is compromised by keeping those 2 kinds of potatoes 2 different years or too close, because like if you shared a row, you need to be able to know what you have. It's very vital if you are homesteading for reals, which we're trying. Okay, so stay tuned. We're gonna maybe try to do chard and carrots next. Beans wait till it's warmed up quite a bit more than this, but they are talking about a frost warning apparently. So that won't hurt these though. So we'll see what happens next. It's always exciting.